Can I help you?
Yes, there's some Magic prototype cards. I think they might be of value.
Everybody loves Magic. Oh, this is the other kind of Magic.
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering cards. Hold on a second. Gotta fill it right here. Magic the Gathering's a role-playing card game that was developed in the 90s. It's pretty cool to look at the prototypes next to the finished cards. For example, fire-breathing creature. This is a little baby blowing fire. But no, when the card came out, it was much cooler. It was a dragon breathing fire.
I'm here at the pawn shop today to try to sell some Magic prototype cards. These Magic cards actually come from my uncle. He's a huge collector, and we found them in a box of his. These Magic cards are special because they're the only prototypes available. These are unique to the set and to the game itself. I'm looking to get as close to 25,000 as possible.
This is awesome. What was really cool about Magic the Gathering at the time, I believe it was the first card game that was meant to play and collect. What would happen, you know, when these came out is you would have your deck, I would have my deck, and we would battle each other. The game has evolved through time, but over 20 million people around the world play Magic. I mean, it is the most successful role-playing card game out there. So I see a lot of good stuff here. We have a unicorn summon, and over here we have the unicorn. Pretty cool. Ints, which looks like it turned into the iron root tree. I didn't realize you had so many of them here.
Yeah, I have quite a few.
So, what are you looking to do with these?
I'm looking to sell just the prototypes.
Okay, how much are you looking for?
25,000.
So here's the deal. You could easily have $25,000 here. You could have $200,000 here. I really just don't know. Trading card games are very collectible, and Magic the Gathering is the most expensive trading card game there is. This game has cards that are worth, you know, $100,000 in it. I just don't know what this is worth. So this is something I would like to get checked out by my expert. So what I think I'm gonna do is grab your number from you. I'm gonna need a couple days to see if I can set up a meeting with someone who actually knows about these. Then from there, we can talk about a price. What do you think?
Okay, yeah, that could work. Sounds good.
I'll meet you over there.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to make a deal today, but I'm willing to wait and see what could happen. I know that these cards are worth something, so hopefully patience will be a virtue.
Hey, Don, how's it going?
Hey, chum, how you been?
I'm good. Here's my boss, Rick.
Rick, how are you?
You have a store that just sells cards for these games?
That's it. It's a huge market. I get some of Chum's money here and there.
Hey, there's my guy right now. Harrison, how you doing?
Good.
Come on back here. Excited to see what you got.
So,
Put some gloves on for these.
these are the prototype cards I was telling you about.
So what you guys have here, these are the Gamma playtest cards.
The Gamma playtest cards.
Yeah. So basically, this is the first set of playtest cards that resembles the first set of Magic. The first one that really resembles what the game ended up looking like. These are the pieces of paper that they gave to roughly 40-ish people to test out Magic to make sure that it played right.
So are they real?
Well, I have one in my case here that is authenticated.
So it's been graded and authenticated.
This is a Time Walk. This is the card that Time Walk became. Time Walk, Time Walk. Similar to that. To me, the print looks right. The stamp is right. Just because this is a collection of all these together, I would say that these are authentic.
So, these are collectible?
That's the magic question, isn't it? These are very collectible, yes. I would say that probably 90% of these got thrown in the trash before the game came out. These are incredibly rare. Most people that play Magic wouldn't even know that these exist.
Okay.
What kind of price are we looking at?
Because of how scarce these are, I would roughly say about $400 a piece.
And we got 27, right, Harrison?
Yes.
Rick, how much is that?
$10,800.
One thing I can say, because of how scarce these almost cannot go down in value. There's a steadily increasing set.
I appreciate you looking at them. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let you guys talk.
So, you're asking $25,000. Don says they're worth $10,800. Would you take $6,200?
Gosh, that's kind of steep. Do you think we could do like 10,500 maybe?
No, that makes no sense. Sort of like the game.
Okay, well, yeah, in that case, I'm gonna probably have to pass.
7,500?
Gosh, well, I mean, based off what Don said, with the value, you know, increasing every other year, I mean, I think I'd probably actually have to hold off. Sorry.
Well, Rick, looks like we're gonna have to go play with another deck. I got a magic lesson set up next door.
A lesson to play this card game.
You'll probably be better than me, don't worry. Appreciate you, Harrison. Thanks for bringing them by.
Appreciate you as well.
Come on, Rick.
There wasn't any magic happening here today, so I'm just gonna gather up my cards and head home.
So I guess it's your turn now?
All right, draw for turn. Just what I needed. Play my mountain, which is a land. I'll play my Cavalcade of Calamity. I'll tap 2 mana. I will cast my enchantment spell and take 7 life points from you. Your turn. I'm pretty good at this game.
I have no idea what you just said.
To be honest with you, I just took 7 life points from you. What are you gonna do? Draw a card
I
and
mean,
go.
I don't even know if you're telling the truth.
1, 2, 3, so 7 points, yeah. Because he has 1 power here.
This is silly. I can't do this. It makes no sense to me.
Rick, you're my ride.
You've wasted my evening.
I was trying to make you money.
Take a magic carpet.
So that means I won, right?
Hi.
What do we got here?
This is Batman Forever, the video game for Super Nintendo, and the prototype for the Batman Forever game.
I'm not a video game guy. Maybe I don't play them because I'm really bad at them, because every time I've tried. I like pinball, but...
I'm here at the pawn shop today to sell my Batman Forever Super Nintendo prototype with the original game. This prototype shows several stages of development that were used in production of the final Super Nintendo game. The prototype has actually been in my collection for about 5 years, and I was able to pick up the production copy about 2 years ago. I'm looking to get $5,000 today for both. If I make a sale today, I think I'll take my family on vacation somewhere fun.
It is kind of cool. The Batman Forever movie had Jim Carrey in it, and Colt Kidman in it. So this was mid-90s, so 95?
Yeah, 1995.
Trying to think, who played Batman?
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, that's right. And he was actually a pretty good Batman. Jim Carrey did an amazing job.
Amazing job.
He was basically the movie.
Yeah.
How well did the video game do?
The video game had its ups and downs. The Super Nintendo version, which you're looking at right here, is a much harder game to find. So for Batman enthusiasts, this is definitely a staple for their collection.
Okay. Explain the prototype for me, because, like, that's a lot for a video game.
So this is the development circuit board that was used to develop the game, and each of these exposed EPROMs actually has a different version of the game that was used in the development of this final product right here.
Okay, all right. You're talking to a history nerd, not a tech nerd. I've never even seen one of these. I don't know nothing about one of these, okay? Hey, where'd you get these?
I won this at an auction several years ago, and it was just something that I couldn't pass up. Because there's different versions on this, it's a really cool early stage prototype.
I mean, I'm interested in it. I mean, how much do you want for these?
I was looking for $5,000 for the pair.
Okay, I really wish Chumley was here. Okay, but I do have a guy I can call,
Okay.
and we'll go from there.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, be
Thanks.
right back.
What's up, Rick?
What's up, man?
Good to see you.
Hey, Dennis. How you doing,
man?
buddy?
Good.
All right, you guys know each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this guy.
All right, well, this guy has got these.
That's cool. So this is a prototype. This is how they build a game. Typically, this stuff shouldn't get out to the public. As far as in terms of how rare video game prototypes are, how hard they are to acquire, when you're talking about older cartridge-based prototypes, typically those were in-house, and especially ones that have differences, that means it wasn't a final version. That's really unique to find. So you don't see them often, and it's cool when you do. Prototypes were usually kept internally or destroyed by Nintendo.
But you've seen them before.
Yeah, I mean, prototypes, they're technically one of one, right? They're unique. Is there still an existing prototype for every game out there? Probably not, but I'd say a majority of them do have it. But if you're talking about like really popular games and early prototypes, that stuff, like Zelda, Mario, that stuff's not out there. That stuff's really tough to find. Sometimes prototypes were sent out as like, especially once discs were cheaper, they would make a lot of them and they'd send them out to like game reviewers or people that they wanted to try it out. But typically by that point, they were more like final versions of the game. So it's pretty rare to find an earlier prototype.
Okay. So was this game a big seller?
This game is the Batman and Robin equivalent of the video games.
All right, so did not sell well.
It didn't do well. It might have sold okay
sold
just
okay.
because of the tie-in,
Yeah.
but the reviews and the reception were atrocious.
All right, so the big question, what's it worth?
As a set, I would say it's probably worth, you have 300 here, 1,700 here, two grand for the set.
I understand where he's coming from, but my feeling on it is that it's so unique, it is hard to value.
I mean, I deal in unique things all the time.
It's got a cool history. How many people care about that, given the fact that it's an unpopular game? That's how you land on it.
Okay. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Thank you.
You got it.
Appreciate
Good
you,
luck.
bud.
Good luck.
Yep.
All right, so we're really far off on the price.
It would seem so.
Yeah. I'll give you like 1,200 bucks.
I don't think I could do 1,200 on it. I'd never be able to find something like this again. I appreciate the offer. I don't think I could do 1,200.
You know,
Yeah.
I got my guy, and he says that's what they're worth, and that's what I can do.
I hear you. I appreciate your time, though.
All right, thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, thank you.
There we go.
I don't want to be two-faced, and I know Rick liked the Riddler, but I think his offer was more of a joker.
Hello.
Hey, how can I help you?
I'm looking to sell my Prototype Furby.
It looks kind of like Gizmo.
He definitely does. He, though, has this 1,000-yard stare and looks like he's screaming, but Vegas will do that to you. I am at the pawn shop, and I'm looking to sell my Prototype Furby. This Furby is unique because it is one of the unproduced color samples that was never made for the market. I picked it up from a former employee of Tiger more than 15 years ago who was selling out his entire collection of prototype action figures and anything he had. I am hoping to get $3,000 for this Furby.
Really cool. They were released in 1998 by Tiger Electronics. And the 90s were just that era where they were making these, interactive electronic toys, and the Furby was like kind of the pinnacle at the time of it because you could communicate with them in a sense, and you would buy a Furby, it would be talking Furbish, which is kind of like baby talk, and then it would eventually learn English, and it had this little infrared laser right here. It could interact with other Furbies, so it was pretty smart, especially in 1998. It was like cutting edge. You mind if I take a closer look at it?
Absolutely.
I mean, just first touch, it just feels like something you would want to pet as I was talking to you, Is it actually functionable as far as the eyes and mouth?
It is not a functionable model. The prototype stage that this was at was just to test the color patterns and the skin. There was no need for electronics. That was already developed. So they're just putting the skins on a variety of just empty bodies and showcasing how does this look.
Okay, and then what is this? Oh, this is a tag dated September 28th, 1999, so tells you exactly what it is, You probably know you don't always get that with prototypes.
No, you do not.
A lot of the times you gotta guess. What are you looking to do with it?
I'm looking to sell it.
And how much are you looking to get?
Looking to get $3,000.
Okay, I really have no idea. Let me get someone to come take a look at it and figure out what it's worth.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll be right back.
Thank you. I'm very confident the expert will agree that it is a prototype. It needs a new home, and I could use the money for other prototype purchases.
What's up, chum?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Oh, this is what I called you about. This gentleman has what we both believe to be a prototype Furby.
Have you taught it to talk yet?
I love Chum the most.
Well, the Furbies were a cultural phenomenon. When they first came out, they could not keep them on the shelves. This toy was so sought after. And you gotta think that it rivaled the Game Boy, just to give you an idea of how popular it was. That it was this and the Game Boy in Christmas of '98.
You want to take a look at it and tell me what you think?
Absolutely. There's different stages of Furby prototype. You would have ones where they were testing the electronics, the eye size, how the mouth worked. It's really light though, so it tells me there's no electronics in it. I don't know that I recall seeing a burgundy Furby, so that might have actually been something that they were testing. The tag is awesome, and that is a card that you want to have with this type of item, because the tag here actually tells us the code name for it. It says Fish 2. It tells you a little bit of information about the cost of the actual item. Very neat item, and yeah, it looks to me like it's a prototype.
How collectible are Furbies in today's market? Because they kind of had a short run.
There is a collector market for them. It's a niche market. You have to remember, in the late 90s, We were taught collector editions. Toy aisles were full of it. Limited edition of. When that happened, you had people that started buying toys, not only as a toy for their child, but they bought them as an investment.
All right, well, what kind of value do you think it has today?
There's hundreds of these prototypes out there, and you can imagine the reason there was is they had so many different color renditions. This particular prototype, I think you'd have no problem getting $1,800 for it.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming down.
No problem.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, well, after hearing everything Steve had to say, I'm not trying to insult you here, but I'm gonna throw you an offer at $800.
Well, I know you have to make your money, and of course, more important than that is, I have to make my money. He is absolutely right. It is a niche market, but it is a strong market to my surprise, too. 800, though, is a little too tough for me with the experience that I have. I hate to say, I think I'm gonna have to pass on this.
Okay, I do think it's really cool. Thanks for bringing it in, and I hope you'll bring me back some more prototypes in the future.
Absolutely will.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Unfortunately, we couldn't complete the deal. We were just speaking different languages. We needed a Furby translator to work things out.
Okay, what do we got here?
I think it's a Salesman sample from Bigelow Aerospace. Basically, this company tried to sell like a timeshare in space for businesses to do research.
Okay, so this was like some company that was gonna build satellite stations and sell them to people.
Rent it to them.
Wouldn't you want your own space station?
Oh, yeah, always. I'm here at the pawn shop today to try to sell my Bigelow Aerospace Salesman sample. The Salesman sample is made out of aluminum, and it shows you all the characteristics that will happen in the real space station. I'm asking $700 for my Bigelow Salesman sample.
It's really, really interesting. I think it's really cool. Where did you get this?
I go garage sale and look for stuff for my man cave, and I came across this at a garage sale.
So it's a salesman sample of what?
It's a prototype so you can see what it looks like in space.
And this is...
That's the book I got with it when I purchased it.
Okay. Obviously, this company had the business model of, we're gonna make these modules right here, push them into space, and you get your own Skylab or whatever. And this is like one of the models, like lease this to do like space experiments.
Yeah.
All right. I'm kind of baffled. I mean, I've not heard of Bigelow Aerospace. 2011 seems a little early because I don't think SpaceX and them were doing stuff like this back then. But, I mean, I imagine that they were planning on eventually getting this thing in space and charging these leasing rates, $195 million.
Could be.
How much do you want for it?
I'd like to get $700 if I could.
Okay. I mean, I have a million questions. It's
Yeah.
like I've never seen one before. So if you can hang out for a little bit, I'll go call somebody and get him down here because I actually know a guy who probably knows everything about this. All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
The Beard of Knowledge.
Hey, Rick.
Mark,
How you doing?
amazing. This young man right here
How you doing?
has this flux capacitor.
No, it's a Bigelow Aerospace model. That's cool.
Never heard of him.
Really?
I mean, all I know is I got this book here where they'll charge you like $1 gazillion to rent one.
Yes. Well, that was the whole idea behind this. I mean, you know who Robert Bigelow is, right?
Sounds familiar.
Robert Bigelow owned Budget Suites, and he decided to get into aerospace and commercial aerospace. So he came up with the idea of an expandable unit that you could shoot into space. What he was looking at was a commercial space station where you could rent time in the space station. This way it would actually be cheaper than to pay NASA for time on the International Space Station. The idea was not necessarily bad, but this actual concept got canceled when he worked out a deal with NASA to actually build a different version of this that did go into space and is actually connected to the International Space Station. I'm really curious, where did you get this?
I got it at the garage sale a couple miles from here.
Why do I never stop at these garage sales?
Well, thanks, man. I know everything about it now. You're the best.
Thank you. And thank you for letting me see it. Good to meet you.
You too.
I told you he'd know everything there is to know about it. I mean, I'll give you $300. I'm not even gonna negotiate. That's what I'm gonna do. Here's the reason why. It's like, if I didn't know about it, that means like almost everybody doesn't know about it.
Yeah, I realize that. I think I'm gonna have to pass because I'll just keep it on my shelf in my man cave for a while then.
Okay, if you change your mind,
I
bring
know
it
where you
back.
live.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I've got this Colt Paterson that I'm interested in selling. I think this might be a prototype.
That's really, really cool.
I came to the pawn shop today to try to sell my Colt Paterson prototype. I'd like to buy a house closer to my son who lives in California. I would hope to get somewhere in the close to $100,000.
Where did you get this?
The auction company had this on the internet, and when they were advertising it, they called it a Colt belt model. And from the picture, it just didn't look like a belt model because of the location of these 2 screws in the center of the frame, which tells me that it maybe was not one of the guns that was a production model.
An actual Colt prototype would be a big deal. This is the gun that started it all. This was the first reliable revolver. For hundreds of years, they were trying to make multi-shot guns. But the problem was they were terrible. There was the pepper boxes. It was 5 or 6 barrels, and you had to hand rotate them after every shot, which by the 6th shot, the entire thing was like blazing hot. And if you touched it, you would burn your hand. And they just never got the design right until this came along. Samuel Colt is one of the biggest names in guns. His multiple-shot revolver first got big with the Texas Rangers. They used them to conquer the last remaining sections of the Wild West. I mean, it's a neat design. It was made to just fit in your pocket without getting hung up. That's why the trigger tucked in, and then once you pulled it back, you were ready to go. I can tell you what, it's got very little use on it. Generally, these things were beat to death. I've never seen a Colt Paterson prototype before. This would be like a holy grail item for gun collectors. How much did you pay for it?
About $4,000.
Okay. My big concern is it's not real. The wear pattern right here should be just as bad as it is over here.
I think it's a prototype because of the position of those screws.
If it's a prototype, it could be worth anywhere between $50,000 and $100,000. Let me get someone down here to take a look at this thing.
Okay. I'm really anxious to see what he can tell me about the gun. Hopefully it is a good one. We'll find out.
Hey, Rick.
Jameson, how's it going?
All right, here you might have a Colt Paterson there.
Maybe, but this guy right here is absolutely convinced it's a prototype.
Okay. I'm an antique firearms appraiser, and I appraise firearms that are made before 1898. Well, there's probably no gun company in the world that's more recognizable than Samuel Colt. Basically, he made his fame by developing the Colt revolver.
Yeah.
Colt had a factory in Paterson, New Jersey, and basically that's where these guns were made, and that's why they're called a Paterson. You know, Sam Colt was one of the people that helped create the idea that every family, every person should have a gun for self-defense. I'm sure you don't see these that often. What are your main concerns about it?
My big concern is the wear on this pistol is completely wrong. But I know if it's a genuine prototype, it could be worth some ridiculous money.
That's correct. Let me take this book out here and let's make some comparisons. Now, this book is the Paterson Colt book. It's written by R.L. Wilson. This is the definitive book on Colt Patersons. Now, let's just lay that gun down there and make some observations. Look at the angle of the back strap here on this gun, and look at the angle here. This is much more severe. The lug on this barrel is much bigger than the one here. If you lay it on, look where the lug comes out on this. Now, if you look at all the models in this book, none of them look like this.
To me, it still looks like it's a prototype because of the position of those screws.
This screw right here appears to be a modern screw. You know, all these screws back then were handmade.
So, is it real?
In my opinion, it's not real. Everybody has those pipe dreams of finding something that's one of a kind in the bushes, so to speak, but that's pretty much a myth.
I would have loved for this thing to have been real and me give you $50,000 for it. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen today. Thanks.
Okay. Well, of course, I'm disappointed. I wish it was the real thing. I was telling myself continually, don't get over-enthused about it. It may be a fake.
What can I do for you?
I got a bike I build. Hey, Corey, this guy has something you might want to check out.
All right, man. Pull it around back. I got a parking spot back there. Boom. You never really know what you're gonna get when it comes to homemade bikes, but I gotta at least take a look. Who knows? Maybe it'll actually be cool.
What in the hell is this?
125, stand up and ride. I've been working on this for about 9 years.
You're telling me 9 years and you didn't lose interest in building this thing?
Came down to the pawn shop today to sell my stand up and ride 125 scooter. I make them from the ground up. I bend all the tube, weld all the steel, everything on it except for the motor and the shocks. I need the money for some other projects I'm working on. I'm asking 21. I would probably take 1850.
So is this a prototype?
Yeah.
What made you actually want to build it?
You feel like the Bionic Man riding it because you're standing up doing 50. It's pretty cool.
You do 50 miles an hour standing up on a scooter?
Yeah, the fun is standing up, you know.
Yeah, I can see how kids could really get into it. I mean, literally since the 1800s, ever since they came up with small motors, they've been trying to figure out a way to put them on bicycles. Mercedes-Benz actually made a motorcycle with a steam engine on it. Wasn't real fast, and it sort of had a tendency to light the passenger on fire, but it's like a law of nature. Guys love motorcycles. They've been popular in the U.S. since the early 1900s, when Indian and Harley-Davidson hit the scene.
It's kickstart, obviously. There's your shifter. That's your rear brake, I'm assuming, back there?
Yeah, you put your foot on there like this, kind of, and then your foot under here for shifting up, and the clutch is up here, and then twist throttle, front brake. If you can ride a motorcycle, you can ride it.
That's actually pretty cool. I thought I'd seen every type of motorcycle, but nothing quite like this. Let me see you drive this thing.
All right, fair enough.
This looks like it could be a lot of fun to ride, but it's got such a high center of gravity, I think you might go head first into some concrete.
This thing is ridiculous.
All right, how about a ride, guys? Okay.
No.
Right? That thing goes pretty fast for a scooter, man. How much you looking to get out of it?
I'd like to get about 21 for it.
You have a design here that you came up with by yourself, and no offense, but if it were made by Honda, I'd love to buy it.
Yeah.
Go out, create a market for it, sell 1,000 of them, bring one to me, and maybe I'll buy one.
Well, I think you guys are making a mistake, but everybody has their opinion, you know?
This guy wanted way too much for a homemade scooter. If I could have picked it up for a couple $100, maybe I could have sold it to someone looking for a fun time with it.